And we're live. Hey everyone, I'm Marco. I'm one of the co-mentors here at the Firehouse Project, and I'll run you guys through our info session today. So first of all, what do we have in store? What do we want to cover? So first of all, I want to run you guys through the curriculum, tell you guys how we customize it for entrepreneurs and job seekers alike. Then I want to talk a little bit about our support system, right? How do one-on-one mentorship sessions work? What about our Q&A forum, Agile team meetings, a group project, and our office hours as well. Then afterwards, I want to answer the question that I get a lot, which is, Marco, what can I really do afterwards, after I graduate from the program, besides landing a job, besides launching my own MVP, my own web application idea? What am I able to produce? So I definitely want to answer that too. And obviously, if you guys have questions, right, I'm here to answer them for you. So either hit me up via email or go to the Google Plus page and use the little comment box and put your question in there as well. Happy to answer them, and I'll make sure I have enough time at the end to go through and answer all your questions. So let's jump first into curriculum, right? What we have, it's 15 weeks long. First 2 weeks is our pre-workout, Firehouse Intro, where we run you guys through coding fundamentals, things that you need to know before we can accelerate you. There's several coding challenges in there we want you to complete. There's a lot of HTML, CSS. We're building a splash page. We're working on some Ruby code, Ruby coding challenges. When you go through that, a lot of people who are watching this right now are already actively coding on that in the Firehouse Intro. So if you're not coding on the Firehouse Intro, do that right now. Go to theFirehoseProject.com, look at the top navigation bar. There's a button, Get Started, hit that, fill out the application so we can have you get started coding. And that's totally free, and we do that for 2 weeks with you, and we review your code and give you feedback so you can improve already. Then once you completed that, we accept you into the full program. It's a 13-week long program, right? So 2 weeks for the intro, 13 weeks of the full program. The first 10 hours in the program, we want you to build a fully functional web application and ship it live to the internet. That will give you a 360-degree view of all the tools that you're going to use. You're writing some Ruby code, you're using the Rails framework, using the Postgres database, using Git for version control, GitHub, and Heroku as your server. So all the tools that you're going to use on a regular basis as a web developer, you'll be using in the first 10 hours to actually build a web application and ship it live. Now, next, we're going to keep the learning curve steep, right? So we're building a Yelp clone with you. I think the most interesting feature, most exciting feature there is that we're actually using and integrating with the Google Map API. So what we're doing is we're writing the Ruby code to take an address that the user puts in for a place, say my pizza place, right? Marco's awesome pizza place. We're taking the address, writing the Ruby code to translate that address into latitude and longitude coordinates, and then pass it back into the Google Map API. So we get a little pin on the map, right? Obviously, that wouldn't be a fully functional web application, so we do more than that, right? We need user authentication. Our users need to log in, log out, create an account, right? Register with our application. And then we want to have star ratings, right? I want to get 5 stars from my awesome pizza place. Then also want user comments, right? Hey, try the pizza with the mushrooms and the spinach. That's the best. So whatever it is, right? But we want to have user interaction, user comments. So we build that feature as well. And obviously, if somebody leaves a star rating or user comments, we want to get an email notification that somebody just gave us a star rating, right? So we build an email notification system that automatically emails users out when they receive comments, when they receive ratings, and we integrate with the SendGrid API there to handle our email flow and the email management of that. Now, we also build a little dashboard where we can see simple statistics about and analytics about how many comments, average comments, how many places, like for my pizza place, I get a dashboard where I can see how many comments and ratings were left on my places, right? So that's what we're building with our second application, the Yelp clone. It takes about 3 to 4 weeks for the students to complete that. Then next, we move on to test-driven development, and that's like the industry standard of what web developers are using. And for you guys who are not familiar with testing and test-driven development, right, it's we're writing software tests. So we can automatically check if all of our features, all the features of our web application, if they're still working, right? It's industry standard. Every tech team, every web development team, every startup tech company uses that technique, and you better know how to use that too, otherwise your features could be broken without you noticing it. So we're doing test-driven development, writing automated software tests to make sure that our features are broken, and test-driven development just flips it on its head. So writing tests first, then building the feature. It's pretty advanced. but it's important for you to know, and that's why we're starting at in week 4 and actually building out an application, having test-driven development, TDD in mind. Next up, we're building another web application, which is a Udemy clone, an online learning platform, a two-sided marketplace, where instructors can upload video content of lessons, right? Here's the lessons on how to catch a huge fish in the ocean. That's maybe a lesson that I would put on there. Video sections, right? And then we have students on the other side who can purchase those lessons and can actually learn something from those instructors. So when I say purchase, right, we obviously need to accept credit cards, debit cards on our platform. So we integrate with the Stripe API so we can accept payments on our platform. Now, the other thing that's really interesting, really powerful that we're learning here, besides accepting credit cards, is the database relationships that we need, because we have a user model that's a lot more complex than before, right? We have instructors on one side, we have students on the other side. Now, we need to figure out how do we track who paid who what kind of money and which student has access to which instructor's courses. If I have 2 courses, if there's 10 instructors, how do we keep track of that? And that's what powers the most advanced web application a lot of times, is those database relationships, and we're going to figure out how to deal with them when we build our two-sided marketplace. On top of that, we're introducing JavaScript at that moment, right? We have several sections there that introduce you to how to write good JavaScript, how to run through that, and actually use JavaScript inside of a Rails application to make the user interface better. And to top it off, we actually improve the user experience by building a user interface using JavaScript. So what we're doing is we build a drag and drop interface from scratch, doing an AJAX call to our service, so we don't have to refresh the page there, right? So an instructor can drag and drop the individual lesson modules, individual lesson blocks or steps up and down the page and reorganizes it automatically. So we're building that as well in a real project, so you guys can actually apply your JavaScript at the moment when it matters. Now, that's our Udemy clone. Those are our 4 web applications that we built throughout the first 8 weeks of the core program. Now, we'll also do that and teach you guys how to write algorithms, right? And how to write really good Ruby code to solve really technical challenges that you will encounter not only for job seekers in the technical interview process, but also when you want to go beyond and build advanced web applications. You absolutely need to have those skills and go deep on those. That's what we're doing in parallel while you're building out the 4 web applications in the first 8 weeks. Now, at that point, we split the curriculum up into 2 different paths, right? We have career seekers, job switchers on one side, and we have entrepreneurs on the other side. Let's focus on the career switchers and the job seekers first. What we do with you guys is we're going to put you on a group project to build an advanced web application as a team. Now, why are we doing this, right? Because it's how the real world works. In the real world, the best software is built by amazing teams. And we want to make sure that you guys know how to be part of an amazing team from day one, right? You guys want to be a high impact employee from day one, which is exactly why we're putting you on a group project. And what we're building there is a chess game. Now, people usually tell me, oh, come on, the chess game, that's not that exciting. But it is exciting to a web developer, senior web developers, and technical hiring managers, because it's insanely complicated to implement and build. You just think about how many figures need to move up and down in a chess game. How do we track them on a database level? How do we check which algorithm are we writing to check for checkmate, right? How do we think about the castling move, right? That's when figures are moving before any move has happened, right? How do we keep track of all the different pieces on our chessboard in any given moment, right? So these are all really technical, challenging questions, and we're solving them and we're working together as a team. And because in the real world, you've been working together as a team every single day, you basically get 4 weeks, 5 weeks of experience of how to work on a team before you even start your job. And that, overcoming the hurdles that come along with teamwork and building an advanced web application that has algorithms in them, is really impressive to the hiring managers. So you really have a competitive edge there going through that. And you're also going to be having a solid, what's called a pull request, a place where your code is, where you can demonstrate, well, this is how I communicate with the team, right? These are all the soft skills that I have on top, and here you see my code, the hard skills, my coding skills, right? That's why we're doing the teamwork, because it's the real world, and that's how you need to learn how to code and get to that level as fast as possible. That's why we're spending 4 weeks on it. And you'll learn not only test-driven development, implementing algorithms, and building advanced applications, but you'll learn how to be part of that amazing team, so you're ready for the real world. Now, for the entrepreneurs on the other side, right? You guys want to launch your own web application idea and push that live to the internet. What we do with you is together with your mentor, we take your idea, we wireframe it out. That means we draw every single screen of the application, break it down into individual coding steps, and have you build them one by one until we can launch your web application idea. We call it the MVP, the minimum viable product. If you're an entrepreneur, you should know what that means. If not, look it up and learn that, because that's what we're going for, and building the application idea out with you. Now, that was pretty much the core curriculum, right? We run you through 4 web applications the first 8 weeks. Then we split you out for the entrepreneurs who built your own idea out, and for job seekers who put you on a team, because that really resembles the real world. Now, let's talk about the support system a little bit, right? So we have several things. First of all, I want to talk about the Q&A forum, right? Q&A forum is a place when you code Thursday night and you have an error message, you can go and post your error message in there, and within several hours, 1 or 2 hours, you get help. So you unstuck, you can keep going, you can focus on what matters and learn more and more and more, right? Now, it's like, yeah, Mark, at the forum, come on, I get a question, I have a question, I'll put it in, I get an answer. But it's what that forum enables us to do, right? That means that when you come to mentorship sessions, right, your weekly mentorship sessions, you're error-free, you should be virtual error-free. You come to the mentorship sessions and we can really deep dive into what matters for you, right? We have world-class mentors, and this isn't marketing, they're really world-class developers that we have on our platform that have experience at places like PayPal, eBay, Product Hunt, that's a Y Combinator company out in San Francisco. It's blowing up right now. We have Flickr, we have mentors who have TechCrunch articles written about them because they left jobs. And that's kind of the impact of the people that we're having right now as our mentors. And these guys are going to take you under their wing, but they don't want to troubleshoot with you and point out typos and error messages and fix simple error messages for that way on the forum. But they want to pair program with you and really go deep on what matters, right? They might go deep with you in algorithms, right? That's really important. They might write additional tests with you for the test-driven development section. They might go deep on additional feature and pair program that out with you if you're an entrepreneur. They might help you with figuring something out for the advanced logic in the chess game, right? That's what our mentors are doing, and that's why they push you to get to the next level in your current stage, in your coding level, in your coding ability. That's how the mentorship session works. And then we also have the office hours. And I personally, I love the office hours, right? That's when all our students come together and meet each other, and all kinds of questions get asked, from career advice, how do all the pieces of a web application fit together, to any kind of error messages I just got 10 minutes before the office hours started, right? It's a great place to exchange knowledge, meet the other people, and then also, like, if you're starting out and you've seen, like, oh, that's the path where I'm going to, when the more advanced students who are further along in the program ask their questions, right? And if you're a student who are further along, you can actually take some of the questions and answer them, and that's a different way of learning. By teaching back, you solidify your learning in a different way. That's why I love the office hours so much. And also, for the last 4 weeks, during the group project, we have Agile team meetings where the team comes together with a leader for the group project leaders, and you figure out what are the steps, what do we need to build, how do we break individual things down, so you all are on the same page and you can build the application as fast as possible. That's a support system, right? Q&A forum helps us give you guys amazing mentors that actually dive deep into what matters the most for you at your current stage in your current coding development skills. Then we have the weekly office hours where we all come together, and we have the Agile team meetings for the group project. Now, let's answer that one question that I said in the beginning, and I'll answer because I get that asked so often, which is, what can I actually produce when I graduate from the Firehose Project? And I think the easiest way to say that, besides, of course, our graduates getting jobs and they get hired by companies as web developers and Rails engineers and software engineers, and also, like, people launch their own applications, right? But what you can do, you're able to create. You can go have an idea. You spend the weekend, spend the week, build that, ship it live, get the user feedback, and start improving your application. And you can go a lot further than building a Yelp club or an online marketplace. You can go so deep because you have the algorithmic skills and you have the test-driven development skills. You can do that. You can create. You can push something live that you think needs to be there in the world that is not currently there. And I think that's a really empowering feeling. And that's what I personally love, being able to do something like that. So besides a job and getting your own application out, we give you the power to build as much as you want and make all the ideas a reality. Now, that was pretty much it. Let me jump in. The step before, if you have any questions, feel free to send them either via email or go on the Google Plus page and use the little comment box. going to check there right now. I know a lot of you guys, I just see that in my inbox, they're coding right now, just submitting their code challenges. That's awesome. Thumbs up for you guys. If you're coding right now, or if you're not coding, even better, go to theFirehoseProject.com, go to the top nav, there's a Get Started button, hit that, apply for our Firehouse intro. It's 2 weeks, we review coding challenges, and only if you complete them, we actually accept you in the full program, and believe it or not, there's a lot of people we don't accept into our program, so definitely go through that process if you want to be part of the Firehouse Project, the full program, and you're going to learn a lot about code and writing something, so I don't think there's any reason why you shouldn't do that. All right, let's jump in and see if we have any questions so far. See over here. Yeah, I got a few here. Okay, what's the application process? I guess I just said that a few moments ago. I can repeat it, right? Go to the website, theFirehoseProject.com, go to the top nav, apply for the Firehouse intro course. It's 2 weeks long, it's free. We teach you a lot of the coding fundamentals. If you finish all the coding challenges in there, we accept you in the full program. And a lot of you guys are on that already, which is awesome. Let's see, how are the materials presented? I think I got that question last week as well. It's a good question. Materials are presented in several different ways. We have written guides, we have videos, we have live instructions, right? So written materials, we give you really detailed guides on step-by-step instructions on how to build a web app, several web applications out, right? Now, inside of those guides, we also have challenge sections where we kind of take the training wheels off, so you guys got to fly a little bit or balance your bicycle by yourself and actually learn how to apply some of those skills. So balance that out with the challenge section and giving you detailed guides. Why do we have written guides? It's because of two main reasons. First reason is it's just like in the real world. Open source code and documentations for APIs, open source code is always written guides. Very rarely do you find a video from a web developer explaining how to use something. It's always written. So by using our written guides, you actually get prepared for the real world, which is written documentation. So you're getting really good at using them, right? The second is it's a rich resource. You can come back at any moment, simply do a quick search and find what you need. And we see that so often in our graduates who are holding jobs right now. Come back into the platform, log back in, and actually look up a simple 1-2 sentences of code that they couldn't remember. That, oh, how do I integrate the SendGrid API again to make automated email notifications work? And that one piece of code, they take it and they put it into their production application for their job, and they're good to go, right? So it's that rich resource. And then obviously we have video instructions, right? We use video instruction mostly for the big picture overview. How does model view controller architecture work, MVC architecture, right? What are HTTP requests? How does object-oriented program, how does inheritance work? There's JavaScript modules that we have that introduce how to actually use JavaScript within a web application. We have that as well. And then we have the live instructions, right? Office hours, mentorship sessions. We also have a Slack channel where we chat and communicate with students, as well as a Google Plus group, which is our community. So that's kind of like how the materials are presented. Again, written videos and live instructions. Let's see what else we have. What's the weekly time commitment? Weekly time commitment is 20 hours per week. So that's what we say is the minimum, right? That's what we want you to dedicate to coding. It's a big reason why we choose the 20 hours a week. It gets you to that point where you're self-sufficient developer the fastest in the best way possible, right? So 20 hours is what we're kind of looking at. It's for you to hit that, what we call it the inflection point, where your learning and your capabilities increase exponentially. They double and they double and they double with every hour you put in. And hitting that point is really important, and we know where you're about to hit it with the 20 hours a week mark. So that's something like lots of people who go through the program while holding a full-time position, they code in the evenings and the mornings and on the weekend a lot. And then we also have people who go through it full-time, right? If you want to dedicate more to the 20 hours a week, go ahead by all means. We have people who were full-time in the program, dedicated 60+ hours a week, as well. And our program, our curriculum scales up to that pretty easily. So there's no problem, you're not going to run out of materials or anything like that. But 20 hours a minimum, that's what we usually ask you to dedicate to the program. Why is the group project so important? That's a good question too. I think a group project, I said it before, right, is really important because it mirrors the real world. It is pretty much the real world. That's how applications are built by amazing teams. You want to know how to work together on a team or as a group of developers, right? There's a huge workflow that you need to know how that works, and you don't want to be the person on a job who doesn't know how to actually push a line of code live on the very first day on the job. You should be able to do that, and that's exactly why we're doing the group projects. You're a high impact employee from day one. Let's see what else we got. Again, guys, if you have more questions, feel free to email me or put them in the Google Plus group. Happy to answer them. What are some of your graduates doing now? Yeah, there's multiple people that I can talk. There's Brad, he's north of Pittsburgh. He graduated. He actually just wrote a blog post on why algorithms matter so much for landing a job. He works for a Rails web development consultancy as one of their consultants that builds web applications for clients. So he gets hired by clients to build the web applications from front end to back end. He's a full stack developer there. He's on our alumni page, right? If you want to read more of those stories, see the reviews on Quora, hear about their experiences in blog posts, go to theFirehoseProject.com/alumni, I believe, or go into side nav, right? Click on the little hamburger nav, top nav, click on the little hamburger bar, sidebar opens up, click on alumni. You read a lot of stories there. There's Erin, she now works in New York for Artsy, which maps the genome of art, right? If you think about Pandora, the radio music station, that app, they map the genome of music. They do it for art. I think they raised $25 million in funding. Really successful company, doing really amazing things. She works there on a technical team. Then we have Steven, who built his own application out that now has him run hundreds of thousands of dollars through his app since he started, I think 2 or 3 months ago. So he's doing really well. Just showed us his revenue chart, which was really impressive, which is awesome. What he does is like an Uber clone for Medical Mariana. So you can say like, hey, I want an 8th or something, and you see the driver driving along the map to your destination. You walk down, you grab the back pin, it is already handled. So he has a blast doing that. It actually works really well for him. Then we have other students like that work for big tech companies like Enernoc in Europe, and they work in there as Rails engineers as well. So things are going really well for our graduates. So again, look at the alumni page and see what they're doing. There's a lot of research, blog posts out there, their reviews. Do that, and also feel free to reach out to those alumni and talk to them as well. Cool. Let's see. What else do we have? That's pretty much it. Also got, do we have an FAQ document? Yeah, definitely. So go to theFirehoseProject.com, go again into the sidebar, and we have an FAQ, frequently asked questions, there as well, where you can read up a lot more, right? But again, I think the best way is stop researching, start coding. You go to our pre-work, go to the Firehose intro, hit the Get Started button on the home page, and then actually fill out the application. We can set up an account. I just saw like 2 people actually apply, which is awesome. I set up your account in a moment. Then we can start coding with you and actually work on your fundamentals. Other than that, guys, thanks so much for coming. This was a ton of fun. I hope this was helpful for you. If I missed anything or didn't answer some of your questions, feel free to shoot me another email. Happy to answer them. Until next time, guys, thumbs up. You guys stay awesome, and I'll hopefully see you in the pre-work. Take it easy now. Bye.